Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We ask that you take this moment to silence your cell phones as the students of the Kelso High School Jazz Ensemble attempt to take you back in time to the dance clubs of the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. When on any given Friday night, you grabbed your date and found the best seat in the dinner parlor to eat and dance the night away with Count Basie, Duke Ellington, the Andrews Sisters, or even Woody Herman. Feel free to clap along, sing the words if you know them, some of you I'm sure you do. And if you feel so moved, you may dance your heart away in the aisles. So if I see some dance, that'll be awesome. This is our big band throwback. We're going to get started right away tonight by introducing our band members. Up first, keeping the rhythm, keeping the time for the band, is our senior drum major. This is Dakota, Cookies and Cream Estes. Dakota's favorite quote is, "Life is like a bucket of wood shavings, unless it's in a pail. Then it's like a pail of wood shavings." That's from SpongeBob. So very inspiring, Dakota. Could you start off a little groove for us? Sure. Awesome. Joining Dakota on the bass, we have freshman Isaac, the ace of bass 4. Isaac's favorite quote comes from Spider-Man and says, "With great power comes great responsibility." Joining Isaac and Dakota tinkling the ivory keys, we have Ian Muscle Milk McNamee. Ian is just near 15 years old and comes from Longview, Washington. Rounding out our rhythm section, playing the guitar, we have freshman Big Hawkins, Brendan Kaczynski. Brendan's favorite quote is, "Believe in what you do, believe in who you are. Heck, believe in Santa Claus, just believe." Give a round of applause for your rhythm section, please. Playing big trombone, we have Hey, the sweet potato Anderson. Here to see me tonight is Cat Doll. Joining me on third trombone, we have Thomas the Train TV. Thomas is a 14-year-old freshman and lives by the mantra, "Go big or go home." In pink. On second trombone, we have 15-year-old Will. Will we see out, please? Will was born all the way in Aberdeen, Washington. And finally, looking up the trombones, we have 16-year-old Horatio Beast Mode Roman Gomez. Ladies and gentlemen, do one round of applause for your trombone section. On second tenor saxophone, we have Keegan Jason. Keegan says he uses blue skies and his favorite quote is, "How about we don't put nail polish on it?" Playing lead tenor saxophone from Boston, Washington, please welcome 15-year-old sophomore Jeffrey the Jazzy Myers. Jeffrey says, "I will challenge you to a battle of wits when you come unarmed." On second alto saxophone, please welcome 15-year-old sophomore Toby Screamin' Samuel. And finally, the lead of the saxophone player on the alto, 18-year-old Ben Sassibon. Please give a round of applause for the saxophone section. Trumpet, Please welcome Iron Lips Evan Lightfoot. Give a warm round of applause for your trumpet. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that clear. Oh, there we go, awesome. Fast forward a few years to 1939. Woody Herman was one of the most popular of the 1930s and 40s band leaders because his music was a little bit experimental for his time frame. His jazzy clarinet playing, this is interesting, was featured as the halftime performance at Super Bowl VII, which I think is pretty cool that a big band used to do the Super Bowl performances. What began as a dud song slowly turned into one of his greatest and most famous hits. This song sold over 5 million records for Woody Herman. This is Woodchopper's Ball. music, first written back in 1885 and arranged for jazz band. The popular march incorporated several patriotic songs like Columbia, The Gem of the Ocean, and Dixie. So in 1941, World War II was just starting to get underway, and Glenn Miller gained a lot of popularity because of this patriotic tune that he arranged. So this is The American Patrol. Duke Ellington wrote the next jazz standard in 1953, and it quickly became one of his most popular charts. He began to use it as the last song he ever performed at any gig, so it was that popular. It was like, this is the finale, and everyone loved it. This piece has been recorded numerous times by Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, Terry Callier, Nancy Wilson. It goes on and on and on. It's a very famous Duke Ellington piece called Satin. Glenn Miller recorded one of his most famous jazz charts ever, and maybe one of the most famous jazz charts ever, in 1940. You'll probably all recognize this one. It might even be, one of the most recognizable, awesome. It might be one of the most recognizable jazz charts of all time. Topping the charts for 13 straight weeks in 1940, this is In the Mood. In 1944, Duke Ellington wrote the next standard, which quickly was taken over in popularity by vocalist Ella Fitzgerald, who recorded a rendition 1 year later in 1945 that remained at number 5 on the Billboard Top Hits for 6 weeks. And then later, Harry James and his orchestra recorded a similar version that got to number 1 on the charts. So this piece was a very, very famous piece back in the day. This is I'm Beginning to See the Light. One of the most iconic World War II tunes was recorded in 1941 by the famous singing trio, the Andrews Sisters. The song made its debut first in an Abbott and Costello film called Buck Privates, and later got to number 6 on the charts. The song was nominated for an Academy Award for the Best Song of the Year, and it tells an old story of when the draft came back in, and a bugle boy from Chicago got drafted into the Army and was a little depressed, so they found him a band to play with. This is the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from Company B. The next piece was first composed for a Broadway musical called Walk a Little Faster. And even though that musical wasn't that great of a hit, this piece came out on top, and it's famous, made famous by Basie's Big Band because of the trumpet solo that has the theme from Pop Goes the Weasel in it. So this is Count Basie's version of April in Paris. In 1869, Joseph Winter wrote a drinking song for the New World, and the song gained a lot of popularity in the early 20th century, particularly during the Prohibition era, because of its frequent mention of alcohol. And in 1939, band leader Glenn Miller took that folk song and made it into a very, very popular jazz standard. This is the Little Brown Jug. Normally at a concert, we'll play 3 songs, and they mastered 10 songs. So I'm very proud of the students on stage for really going after this project and doing a great job on 10 very difficult jazz charts. So give them a round of applause, please. We want to thank you all for being here tonight. The ticket sales, the $5 tickets, is going to go to help them hopefully get to go to the University of Idaho Jazz Festival, which happens in February. It's the largest jazz festival this side of the Mississippi River. It spans like 5 or 6 days, and it's huge. Like the biggest names in the business go to that. So they're really pumped about wanting to go, but we've had to talk about some money. So tonight's concert is helping out with that. The ticket sales is helping out bring down the cost for each kid when we go to Idaho. But if you are so blessed and would like to help further, we are supported by a parent group called the Kelso Music Boosters. And there's a table right outside the doors you leave with some band parents from this group sitting there. And if you would like to donate any further to that cause, you can talk to those parents and donate to that organization. They're going to help out with this group going to that trip. So thank you so much for the tickets. And if you have anything that you wish to donate further, the table is right up there. We have one last tune for you. This is going to feature every part of the band. After the concert, the kids are going to run backstage and they're going to run down, well, they're going to walk very respectfully down G Hall and around, and they will meet all of you right out there in the foyer if you want to see your kid or say hi or congratulate them. So they will meet you over there. This is Blue Skies, and thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm going for the back there. One more thing. I wanted to quickly, it's in the program, but just acknowledge these wooden jazz stands. Don't they look sharp? They look really nice. They were made by Dakota's parents, Denise and Rick Estes. They made these for us. And then this beautiful lettering was donated by Advantage Printing. So I just want to thank those 2 people for giving us just a nice little cherry on top. Here's Blue Skies.